What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Strangers Minds. I'm Fernando, and today we're gonna read from Reddit, and it's just gonna be all mixed in because I usually would go to certain groups that I am affiliated with, and then just go down the list. But we're just gonna go whatever's on I guess the For You page, right? We're gonna start off with from the paranormal group, well, not paranormal group, the paranormal community, paranormal encounters 2 days ago. What is the sound? Let's click on it to see what is the story behind it before we hear the sound, right? Let's bring it up, the volume all the way up. All right. I was sleeping at an abandoned monastery. What? Set up my recorder and let it run in the whole night. When I checked in the morning, there were the sounds. Does anybody know what they are? You guys ready? I'm ready. Let's go. All right. If it's that screech, then that could have been a bird of sorts. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, could it be a owl? I know when the owl doesn't just go whoo whoo. I know a couple of those kind of have this little screech. Owl. There you go. That or a barn. That or a barn owl definitely sounds like a bird. Yeah, sounds a bit like my Aztec death whistle. She. Hell no. Or my ex-wife. Yeah. Yo, they wilding on here. They are wilding on here. It sounds like a nothing burger to me. I mean, you hear something, but whether or not it's paranormal, that's up for debate. I think it's a bird. It's the chupacabra, dude. Come on now, yo, f this, bro. No, no, no. I mean, while I, while you guys were asleep, you guys didn't hear this. I mean, that is the real question. Because not for nothing, if I am fully aware that I am spending the night in an abandoned monastery and hear something, first of all, I won't be sleeping. I'll be investigating the whole entire night if I have that privilege. But second of all, if I do fall asleep, am I hearing this? Because that is what's really up for debate. Did you hear this in real time, or is this a EVP being caught? So, with that being said, let's continue on to the next. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go back. Help, what is this? I can't figure it out. This is from the community Ghosts. Hold on. Let's see if there is a story behind it. There's no story. Let's make it big. Let's go. Let's see it one more time because I already have an idea of what could it be. I don't know. There was a bit of a cut in the video. I mean, like a pause, right? Like there was a bit of a pause because either one of two things is happening here. Either the video is edited, but without, this over here is where it's a little weird. It kind of just appears, right? Like it doesn't walk into screen. It just appears on screen with a little pause in the sound. So for me, it just feels like it was edited. Now let's not jump into already throwing this under the bus, but something like this could be seen if there is a object. I'm not gonna say object. If there is something close to the camera lens, like for example, let's say that was an ant, a small ant, it's gonna look like a blurry figure, shadowy, just going all around the lens. Since the camera is outside, could have been a spider, could have been an ant, could have been an insect, so on and so forth. But let's see what the comment says. Spider or fly or moth or beetle, commonly seen effects. Lens can't focus that close, so the big gets bokened. Yeah. So, but at the beginning of the video, it's moving to the left of the screen, and you can see it. It's behind the blue porch fence rail, and it looks like it's as tall as the railing. Looks like, doesn't equate to is. Mm, really? We must always remember that our eyes play tricks, particularly when looking at a flat image like a video. It's possible to tell the distance. The third D is a 2D format. The camera module is designed to work with individual images. When massively out of focus content hits a sensor, it can appear to do very strange things. This is a bug, happens often on Reddit. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it could be some sort of bug up close. Thankfully, there's not a lot of people being dicks about it and making this person feel like crap for posting, because I am against that. If somebody on Reddit is putting some stuff up, it is of one or two things, but I'm not going to jump into the second. One is that they are looking for advice or help, which I'm all for it. Or two, they're looking for attention, which I'm against. So, one of two things, but you don't always have to be a dick about it. So I appreciate everybody putting in the 2 cents, and let's keep it moving. Okay, 7 days ago from the community paranormal encounters. Let's read it. Let's see. Okay, it's not that bad. Uh, One day I was hanging out with my friends and suddenly we passed by a random apartment block. I live in Romania. Ooh, that's an interesting place to be. I'm just not sure how safe would it be for travelers to be going out to Romania. So it was something normal, but this block was different. There was an outside basement. Me and my friends, of course, wanted to explore, so we headed down there. It smelled so bad, but we still managed to take some pictures before going back. As we were going down the stairs again, using the phone flashlight, we saw a little hole made like a window, but it didn't had glass. Excuse me. Inside was a candle, and my friends started hearing things that I didn't. We ran back out and never entered that basement again. Interesting. What are the comments on this? 2 years ago, I went to Mexico and had bought 4 Mayan skulls that were glued onto this small little plank. When I got back home, I ripped one of the skulls off the plank to give it to an ex of mine. God damn. 2 days later, I woke up in the middle of the night around 2 a.m. And as I'm slowly blinking, I see the most effed up looking demon at the side of my bed, looking into my face. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was very tall, long, bony arms that went down to its knees. It was very thin, like it was starved, wet hair that touched its shoulders. It had gray skin, red eyes, and was only wearing this little piece of fabric covering its privates. It looked like it crawled out of a sewers or something. When I tell ya, I jumped up and it was no longer there, heart pounding, too scared to go back to sleep. Definitely the scariest thing in my life. Did you get rid of the skulls after that? I wonder if it was an attachment curse. No, I still have all three, and my ex threw out the skull I gave him a few days after I had gifted it to him. I don't know why. Well, it's a freaking skull. I wondered the same thing, or if I somehow pissed it off. So it's two scary. It's two different stories in one article. But it's two interesting, very stories. Now, here's the thing. Um, ripping the head off something that was put together by somebody else. You don't know what was the intention of the other person, but I guess as a souvenir, you actually buy certain things from different areas. So, sure, why would you rip off one of the skulls and give it to your ex is beyond me. But yeah, I would say that possibly you have experienced uh, paranormal activity there. But let's put into perspective something you've never witnessed this before, but you bought this thing from 4 Mayan skulls on a little plank in Mexico. And could it be that possibly you doing what you did kind of, unconsciously dreamt this happening? Possibly. I would say, wow, there's a lot of stories that everybody is putting up on here. Huh. What is the scariest thing you've ever seen? So no wonder. I thought I was reading just one story, but it's a bunch of little stories. Let's do one more. What is the scariest thing you've ever seen? Once, when I was in high school, my friend and I were sitting on my bed chit chatting. We were home alone since my parents didn't get home from work till a few hours after I was from school. My friend was sitting with her back to the open bedroom door. When I looked toward her, I could see into the hallway behind her. There was a silhouette of a woman. It looked cloudy, white, kind of like a cloud, but detailed enough that I could tell it was a woman watching us. It wasn't the first time I saw a paranormal being in that house, and I've had many experiences, so it didn't scare me, but I didn't want to say anything because one, I wasn't sure if my friend would also be able to see it, and two, I knew she would be scared. I guess I star a little too long because then my friend turned around to see what I was looking at, stared. To my surprise, she also saw it. She turned back towards me and her eyes were super red and watery. And she asked, "When did your mom get home?" I responded that my mom was not home. My friend just yelled, "Oh, F no," and ran out the house crying. I followed after her and she refused to come back inside of the house. When my mom got home, about an hour later, she found us both outside and my friend crying. She asked what was wrong, and I told her what happened. I don't remember her reaction, but my friend refused to go back in the house that day. I've had many personal paranormal experiences throughout my life, but whenever anybody asks me what the creepiest one has been, I always tell this story. Even though it didn't scare me, I think what I find creepy about it is how clear the entity was and that it lasted long enough for me to stare for a bit, my friend to notice, turn, and then see it herself. This has been the only time where I have seen a spirit and somebody else has also seen the exact same thing at the same time, confirming in the moment that it was not imagined. So this is one of the reasons why every time I go out in the field, I always have somebody with me. I don't do no solo investigations because I want somebody there to clarify, to validate what I am experiencing. There's really no purpose on doing anything by yourself anyway, unless you are antisocial and you just want to put up content. But when I go out to the field and explore, I like to, obviously just enjoy the beautiness of the history, enjoy the beautiness of the decaying structures. There's beauty behind all of that in my eyes. And, I am doing investigations because I do walk around with a camera, EMF detector, voice recorder. I don't have a bunch of fancy stuff because all of this fancy stuff is good to have if you want to capture evidence trying to help somebody else. I think a lot of this stuff that people use, it's eh, I don't know. I am more old school. I'm just gonna leave it like that. But anyway, this story was awesome. The fact that her friend was able to see the same thing that you saw is amazing. And the fact that you are just keeping your cool, I mean, this right here, you, my friend, can sad. You have a very bright future within the paranormal field if you choose to do so. So, you know what? as much as I want to stick to this, I kind of want to see what else we have here. Ghost stories. I felt weird as soon as I walked in the house. What is this? My husband started crying, saying he has never felt so uncomfortable by a piece of furniture. Please help. What? Okay, my husband started crying. Okay, community haunted 6 days ago. We got to read this. We bought two of these 100-year-old closets. Damn. Damn. 100-year-old closets from the thrift store. And my husband loved these when I sent him pictures. The past years, we bought plenty of antique furniture and keep joking around about ending up getting haunted. That is a real, real risk you are taking, my friends, because it is known within the paranormal field that objects that has been, loved upon, another person, just having something, precious on them, it is known that their energy could be transferred always onto a piece of object. And, 100 years later, you might experience certain paranormal activity. So, yeah, this is a real thing, you guys. Though we do believe in bad energy and things sticking around causing things to go down, we don't believe in demons or the classic haunting. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, Demons are being used way too much by Hollywood to even be taken serious, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to say that there's no such thing because unfortunately that is probably a question that we'll never fully get an answer to because a demon is a entity that is inhuman. I've seen a lot of bad stuff in my days, and it was caused by a bad entity, a human bad person, not a demon. So people often get confused with paranormal activity because if something bad happens, if you get scratched, if you get punched, if you get pushed, it's not because a demon is doing it. It's because the entity you're dealing with at the time is pissed off and just wants to hurt you. Now, I have been to demon houses and I have gotten scratched. Am I going to say it was a demonic attack? I'm not going to say that. It was probably I just got scratched because the entity there didn't like me. Yeah, I've never got scratched with the sign of the Trinity. I've never, experienced something like I don't know. I say that if you go into certain locations, if you do what I do and investigate the paranormal, you have to have a strong faith, not necessarily a religion, but you have to have strong faith. You have to be mentally strong to do this because if you're weak, you're going to get bullied by the unknown. Though, okay, he told me he really needs to get rid of it and swears that he never felt so uncomfortable and scared by any object before, besides of a doll I keep in the living room, and I love her. LOL. You're okay. You're choosing the comfort of your husband for a doll. That's wild. Does anyone get the heebie jeebies from this closet? I'm trying really hard not to be mad at him for wanting to get rid of them. And he is almost convincing me as well that they're creepy. The only thing I could tell you, trick major, the only thing I could tell you is that if your husband is feeling uncomfortable, I mean, the right thing to do is make him comfortable. You don't want to be a bitch and keep something because you want it and make your husband uncomfortable. No. I say, once you guys decide to get married and be a team, vice versa. I'm sure that if there is something that your husband has that would make you uncomfortable, he will get rid of it as well. So, you gotta give, you gotta take, you gotta respect one another. And yeah, yeah, I would get rid of it if my partner is feeling uncomfortable with it. Period. Period. Sorry if that wasn't the answer you was looking for, but I would get rid of it. All right, let's go on to the next, you guys. Uh, I've seen this video so many times already. What do you guys think about this? What's the backstory? That's the thing. The backstory is very sketchy because so many people has gotten these videos into their hands and put so many takes on it. So this is a hospital, and potentially you see a figure in this area over here coming out. If you guys haven't seen it, let me show you. So pay attention over here, and it actually comes out all the way. It looks like an alien. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not gonna jump into the conclusion that it's an alien or paranormal, but the 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 interesting thing about this is the way it looks, and the story changes every time I see this video. It's never the same story. It changes all the time. So either this is all fake or is all real. Let's see that one more time. It peeks out. Then, as bold as it is, it comes out. All right, let's pause it right here. This is where it gets a little bit weird because right now it has a long neck with the head over here. Long neck, you guys. And then the body is down here. Like I must say that's like a good what, almost 2 feet of neck, possibly 2 feet, a foot. It's a long neck. And then when it comes out over here, you could almost tell that is a little bit transparent just because you could almost see through it to look at this, whatever that is. It looks like a garbage pail. Ah, missed it. But did you guys catch it? It almost looks like it. You hold on. Let's see if you can see it. A little bit back. Oh, there it is. Perfect. You can actually see the garbage pail through it. Now, probably due to the quality of the camera that they are using, the movement of it, if the person is walking too fast, it's gonna give like a bit of a blur. But here's the thing: I'm not so sure if that is the case over here because everything looks pretty clear to me. And when it stuck its head out the first time, which was pretty quick, it was solid. It was just there. The other good thing about it is that everything happened within the same frame. There was no cut in the video. There was no, you know, 10 seconds later. Everything was caught in the same frame. But honestly, the most interesting thing about this is that the story changes every time I see the video. It's the same video. It's the same unedited video with different stories. Could it be fake? Of course. Yeah, it could be fake. Maybe. I don't know. Oh man, it looked like it just hit that bed corner. The guy got the person got freaked out and went away. Now the backstory behind it, I don't know. I don't know. Living, dead, I don't know, but it makes me uncomfortable. Yes, it does. I agree. It's unhealthy, but the history of this place interests me. I'll do some research and tell you what happens. Thank you very much. So I did some research 6 days ago. Let's see. So I did some research on these places and I didn't really find anything about it, but I'll tell you the content of the rest of my research. But I can tell you what I found. Okay. Um Why don't you just Rick roll all of us and put us out of our misery? What? In truth, I didn't find much but some little information, but it annoys me you have almost nothing on this building. It's from a public hospital in Honduras. So, a nurse caught the footage. That is all I know. I did hear that. That is one of the stories. That is one of the stories, but there's no backstory to it. All right. So, you guys, what do you guys think? You guys leave your comments in leave your answer in the comment section. What do you guys think about that? All right. Let's do what the hell? We found something. What? What TF am I watching? I'm afraid to even click on it. What the hell is that? Found footage. All right. Okay. Oh, so it's pictures. Okay. If that's the case, let's. What am I watching? Oh, there's no story behind it. What the hell? Watching dead stream right now because of this sub, and this is next. Dead stream is so good, such a great blend of horror humor. All right, so it's pretty much nothing. Sorry about that, guys. Let's move it to the next ghost stories. Oh, Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. Oh, that's a very good question. What is everyone's opinion on this show? Now, I'll tell you what. Skinwalker Ranch. It is a very well known within the paranormal community just because of the location of this place. It is actually, it is known that it's been built above ancient Indian burial grounds, and there's a lot of stuff. Not only that, but there there's so many different paranormal activities going on. We're talking about UFOs, we're talking about cryptids, we're talking about paranormal stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. Now, here's the most interesting thing is that this isn't the only place that is known to have so many different paranormal activities on it because there is a forest in New Jersey that has a lot of the same similar um uh, activity going on. We're talking about ghostly figures. We're talking about UFO. We're talking about the Jersey Devil. We're talking about a bunch of it's just crazy. And I've heard some stories from my boys out there from Australia, Gary and Jeremy. They do a bunch of other stuff going on, and it's just there's a lot. So there are places that is just a mecca of paranormal activity. I would love to do some little bit of research to see if there are ley lines that are crossing all of these different places. But Skinwalker Ranch, I would say that it is a very interesting show, and hopefully, we'll be able to get one of those guys on the podcast to talk with us if they agree to, of course. I know Gary, the creator of the Shadow Files, is looking into it. I will definitely let you guys know. While I'm sure there is something going on there, I am so skeptical about a lot of things. I just have to experience it myself before I can believe it. Of course, I would love to get access to walk around the Skinwalker Ranch, but if you don't have a television show or any type of authority or anything going on, you will never step foot in there because it is an Area 51 kind of place. Like that is how crazy it is, which kind of brings a little bit more credence to, you know, is Skinwalker Ranch real? Maybe so, due to the amount of security they have there. Due to the amount of security. So it could possibly be real. After spending over a decade sheepishly, I don't know if that's a real word, following the curse of Oak Island, which is the same production company, I can see the over the top Hollywood effect at play in large portions of it. Yeah, for sure. especially when you take a bunch of these paranormal groups that have their own television shows. They start off good but end up just letting their air get inflated and just completely crap on the paranormal field. So yeah, I mean for sure you guys, I do think that there is something at the Skinwalker Ranch. Let's see if we could do one more. Or recommendations for 11-year-old. 11-year-old horror recommendations? You know what? I am a huge fan of um is it See No Evil? See No Evil. Deliver us from evil. Deliver us from evil. That I think that's the name of the movie. Deliver us from evil. It's about US Army, Iraq. They were, going after insurgents, and they go into like this tunnel on the ground, and basically they got possessed. They come back home to New York, and then one of the soldiers ended up, doing some crazy stuff out there. Then a New York detective gets the case. He starts experiencing paranormal activity. He met with a priest out there, and then they ended up. It's a cool movie. I'm not gonna say it's scary because it's not scary, but it's a cool movie to watch, and it's based on real events, you guys. So I'll catch that. Catch that. Is a good movie. But you know what? With that being said, let's leave this right here. And if you guys are enjoying yourselves, please do what you do when you like a channel. Hit that like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys on the next. Peace.